Welcome to The Prize Inside. The Prize Inside. A chiropractor's journey in everyday holistic health and vitality. Here, your host, Dr. Jeromy Myers, delves into the remarkable journeys of everyday people who have embraced the path to health and healing. Through his practice, Dr. Jeromy encounters inspiring stories of profound transformation and the power of true healing within each of us. Stay tuned as we discuss various holistic topics and unlock the healing potential that lies within us all.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Oh, man. Putting the chickens away was a little more windy than I thought. How's it going? Welcome to the 1% Tribe, the Prize Inside, right? So I got to do that right. Sorry. Let's start over. The Prize Inside, the 1% Tribe edition. This is where we go in and try to improve our lives 1% each Sunday. So, and tonight, and usually on this night, we talk about either three things that get in the way or are monkey wrenches to your health. Thoughts, but like bad thoughts, toxins, like toxicities of the world, and traumas, right? So traumas are some other things that can happen. So tonight is our nutritional one. And what sparked this thought process was actually a couple weeks ago, we went to our chiropractic convention. And one of the things that was very obvious was we are having a lack of, how would I say, like we're having a lot of vitamin deficiencies, right? So a lot of the vitamin deficiencies that maybe we're going after, maybe some kind of special concoction, but we're not actually taking, the easiest stuff. The easiest stuff to take is a lot of times your vitamins and minerals, right? And so, but a lot of times I want my 1% Tribe members and my Prize Inside listeners to know what those things are. And one big vitamin that we're going to talk about tonight is literally not in our food at all. It's scary because of what it does. And we'll walk through that. Now, there's quite a few vitamins we're going to talk about tonight. We're talking about the B complex. We're talking about the B vitamins. We're going to do 8 B vitamins. And hopefully we will get you guys to kind of understand where they play a role. The reason you need to know what they do, the reason we really need to know what they do is be based on sometimes the symptomatology that people have. So we'll go through that, and it can be something where, I said this to a patient this week and we were just nodding. There's no doctor that's ever going to heal you, right? Because the innate intelligence of the body, that's their job. But why don't we give them everything that you can possibly imagine? I kind of think of, especially the B vitamins, as what is it called? It's not your jet fuel. in car enthusiasts, your nitro in your car that gives it that extra bump. Giving your car the real high quality stuff will give you a better result in that car. And I want us to start doing that with our B vitamins, or just our vitamins in general. And that sounds all good and dandy. But I really want you to know what it's for, right? And the B vitamins are a great place to start because there's so many system processes that the B vitamins need. And that's what we're going to go over tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Before we get started, remember, you can get an amazing newsletter that'll be about this subject if you're with us or not. Tribe1, TRIB1.substack.com. Or you can follow, because we're getting close. I touched 80, baby, in Rumble. I'm up to 80 people. I'm super pumped. My views are insane for as few people as I have. So I'm very thankful for all you that have gotten on there. It's a Tribe Inside, a chiropractor's journey on Rumble. YouTube, of course, I'm trying to build that audience as well. That's the big one. One of the things that's hard about YouTube is, if you ever notice, like a lot of times it's just these people that I think they have to put like millions of dollars in different advertise, and you can't just advertise. It's like there's huge schemes behind it, right? So I want mine to build organically. I hope it does, over the time, because I just absolutely love doing this. So that's it. So chiropractic, the prize inside a chiropractor's journey on Rumble, the prize inside a chiropractor's journey on YouTube, and then tribe1.substack.com. So with that said, I'll get rid of these banners and let's get started on the topic tonight: why 90% of people are B vitamin deficient and how it is wrecking your health. I love these like AI things. They're pretty cool. Helps me a lot because I am not that kind of artist. So, and I'm doing this way too much to not use some kind of tricky thing on there. So here we go. All right. So this is what we're going to go over tonight: the role of the role of vitamin B in our lives. Okay, all the different B vitamins. We're going to go over 8 tonight. How being low in these vitamins leads to many, many problems. And then we're going to overview the 8 vitamins so you know where to get them in your diet necessarily. Also, what they do for you, right? So there's several different B vitamins, and all of them are used in different processes within the body. And so that's a big thing. And then we're going to talk about how to use it and the dosages and stuff. But the biggest thing I want you to understand is why. So this is, I wrote this down just for me. But in the next hour, you're going to learn exactly why 90% of people are B vitamin deficient, the hidden ways it's draining your energy and wrecking your health, which is huge, and the simple fixes you can start using today, even if you tried everything else. So, so that's where we want to start. Feel free to comment as we go. I love having comments. Hopefully, any questions as you go as well. So thank you for hanging out. I know I'm going to have a little Canadian light. There's Montreal Canadiens are out there, and my wife's family is probably a little stressed right now. It's like 1-1 tie going to the third. All right. So this is the first vitamin we're going to go over, and we're going to come back to this vitamin in particular. I didn't really hide it from anything, but this is the one I want to talk about the most tonight. B1. B1 is called thiamine. Okay. So B1, the benefits. The benefits is it converts food into energy, supports nerve function, heart health, and brain clarity. Deficiency linked to fatigue and beriberi-like symptoms. Beriberi is like you don't see that very often, in today's world, but we're going to talk about B1 and the major reason we are having issues again with not having B1. So whole grains was where we used to get our B1. What happened? If some of you have been watching me for a few weeks, didn't we do a whole episode on whole grains and somebody that's like milling their own flour and what the wheat berry is and all those kind of things? Okay. So that'll be a hint on what B1 is all about. Pork is another B1 good one. Sunflower seeds, peas, fortified cereals. I would say I'm not a big fan of getting your B1s from cereals in general. They say it's in there. It could be, it's so processed though. That's the problem anymore. So, but they can say it's B. Quality matters too, guys. Quality. We're going to talk about that. Black beans. Black beans is another great one. It's great. Oh, the tip is great for people with high carb diets or chronic stress. So a lot of times B1 supplementation, B1 supplementation can really, you need to do it if you have a high carb diet or the chronic stress, which is like a bazillion parts of the population. So we'll come back to B1 because that's the one I want to really hone in on tonight. Okay, so B2 is riboflavin. B2 is riboflavin. The benefits of this is energy production. It's also an antioxidant or an antioxidant protection. Healthy skin and eyes is B2. Helps convert other B vitamins into usable forms, which is huge. You'll see why when you have all these B vitamins. The B vitamins are literal processes in the human body that convert other B vitamins to do other processes in the human body. It's glorious unless you don't have them. Then it's a problem. Rich foods. The foods that it has the most: eggs, almonds, spinach, milk, yogurt, beef liver, and mushrooms. Mushrooms is going to be a neat topic for discussion as we go. I'm still studying some mushroom, man. There is some interesting phytochemicals that really, really help. For my tea of the night, I forgot to mention the tea of the night. The winner is milk thistle. So hopefully you got your own tea and you're sipping as maybe not some milk thistle. Try that hibiscus. Hibiscus is going to be hard to not do every Sunday night, I'm telling you. Anyway, okay. So in this one, in riboflavin, B2, if this is the one that turns your urine yellow, and that means you're probably taking enough. It's kind of like, I'll go to a good example is magnesium. Magnesium, a lot of people, there's a lot of different ways you can take magnesium, or different ones. There's gluconate and citrate and threonate and glycinate. There's a ton of ways to take it. So people ask me all the time. Citrate's actually probably the cheapest. So a lot of people, I would lean them. Sometimes I lean them to that. I think you can get a really good thing. The problem is like with magnesium citrate, you'll have diarrhea. If you take too much magnesium will knock you into next week as well. One reason why I want to do a whole B once in a while, I want to jump into these B or the vitamins in general, so we can go over the micro minerals too, because it's going to be really fun that way. But this one, a good innate intelligence indicator is if you're yellow, if your pee is too yellow, then you're you're at your good level of riboflavin. Okay. So niacin. Niacin is an interesting one. B3 is niacin. Its major benefits is, this is the second one, energy metabolism. Cholesterol management is a huge one. Skin health. Supports brain function and circulation. So really, really good, right? Rich foods, chicken, turkey, tuna, all awesome, right? Peanuts, brown rice, avocado, that's a good one, and potatoes. Potatoes is like, Now, this one has this thing called the niacin flush. Okay, some people, when they take straight B3, get this thing called the niacin flush. It's harmless, but it can happen, and it can be interesting. I'd like to know if anybody in the comments has ever had the niacin flush where their face turns red. I've never had it personally, so I don't know what it actually feels like, but it makes me laugh because Dr. Matt in our office will have that issue, and he looks like he just did like a bunch of wine. That's what it looks like to me. I'm like, oh, long night. No, I had a niacin flush. I was like, no drinking on the job. That's what I always say. All right, here we go. B5, we're going to go into next. So vitamin B5 is called pantothenoic acid, and its benefits are anti-stress vitamin. So this is the one you would take because it helps the stress hormones. This one no one talks about, but it'd be really good. You're in a high stress environment, right? Let's say you're in school, finishing, different things. It is fantastic that way. Right. They're the foods that, the high stress, it manages stress hormones, energy production, healthy skin, and wound healing. The foods that have it the most: avocado, chicken, eggs, yogurt, sweet potatoes, mushrooms, and lentils. That is a sheet of goodness right there. Rachel made a kind of a surprise salad tonight. We've been pretty heavy on the old beets, and it was good. It was a good salad, good, nice chicken salad on there. But so look at that. The B5 is one that no one really talks about in those high stress environment. Remember, your body uses these, right? So body uses the vitamins in a lot of different processes. And so by having the B5, you can actually regulate that stress, from a high end, let's say you're a high end athlete or a student, um, high stress job. High stress job could be a really good one for that. Almost everything has a decent amount of B5, but the problem is stress burns it out. Okay. So as these go, tonight is an overview. Okay. I can't go into the various actions of each B vitamin. I would recommend it highly, though, and we probably will at some time in my future. I want to show you where it is in the actual process because it helps regulate the stress hormones, and there's certain chemical processes that create energy. There's called Krebs cycle, glycolysis. There's a few of those, and a lot of these vitamins are needed to run a lot of these things that give you the energy we need, right? And so we can't be low on them, okay? But we need a lot of it. This is one of those that, like in B3, if you saw your urine, I'm sorry, B2, if you saw your urine too yellow, you've taken plenty. This one you almost never can because we burn through it in high stress situations. Okay, B6, pyroxidine. Pyroxidine helps, and the benefits are brain health, mood regulation, helps make serotonin and dopamine, red blood cell formation, hormone balance, reduces inflammation. Are you guys getting a hint that maybe B vitamins are a little as important as milk thistle? I would say it would be up there. I'd probably get my B vitamins right, priority wise, over many, many things. Okay. So far the list I've gave you is pretty massive on brain, nervous system help, energy. All the list is stress, all of those things. Foods that have it in it the most: chickpeas, salmon, tuna, chicken, bananas, potatoes, and spinach. Potatoes are pretty heavy loaded on the old B vitamins too. Spinach is one of my favorites to get all of this stuff. This one is interesting because we hear it. I think we're getting it in mainstream. If I have ladies, let me know in the comments. But I think they're pushing this well now. I think nutritionally for my pregnant ladies, but this is huge for women on birth control. Like if somebody is taking birth control or with major PMS symptoms, something I found in the studying, I was like, oh, B6. So what? I'll stop right here for just a second. PMS, menopause, and all those kind of things. B6 could be a very key aspect. So kind of watch that as you go. If you have huge PMS symptoms, there's a lot out there. The herbal thing is called the chaste tree berry. They sometimes call that supplement Vitex. Those are a couple really good ones. The Chinese medicine, Vitex or that chaste tree berry, almost everybody, over every woman that's, let's say past the age where you'd probably have a child, is a lot of times they're taking quite a bit. A lot of them are taking chaste tree berry or Vitex, just to have that balance and hormone regulation. If B6 does that, B6 could be huge for that. So there's two right there. Okay. Not only we're going to talk about it at the end, but all the B vitamins are super important for your nerve health. And we'll talk about that. But this one, B6, super important for women on birth control or women that are having major PMS symptoms. Probably it wouldn't be a bad idea for like your teenager that's kind of going through or starting to have the PMS stuff. maybe make sure you're getting a good B complex or at least B6 in them. Okay, so B7. B7 is biotin. Biotin is the one you hear about quite a bit. Probably out of all of these is the ones most people know what I'm talking about when I say biotin. So B7 is really good for hair, skin, and nail health, right? Big one on that. Energy metabolism, though, could be another one. Supports the nervous system, huge. Okay. The foods that it's rich in is eggs, the yolk of the egg, almonds, sunflower seeds, sweet potatoes, spinach, avocado, and salmon. The list has been super interesting. Not that far off, is it? Not that far off. Most of the stuff I'm telling you. And a lot of your dark green veggies are going to have a lot of B vitamins, just letting you know that. So it's very popular for hair growth. And when you have a B vitamin that's that well known for hair growth, that tells you, like how important this actually is. But so it's very popular for hair growth, but the true deficiency is rare unless eating raw egg whites. Okay, yeah. So what that means is it's tough to become completely deficient in it. However, boosting it and making sure it's high helps that biotin level. That's why people actually see their hair actually get better. Now, could you do some other vitamins on top of it just as much? Yeah. So that's one of the things that can happen. All right. B9. B9 is really cool. Folate or folic acid. Okay. So this one is important to listen. Okay. DNA. So this one has the benefits of DNA synthesis, cell division, red blood cell formation, critical for pregnancy and mood because it helps neurotransmitters. Okay. So it's one of the big ones. Almost all the vitamins we've talked about had some kind of energy or neurological benefit. Okay. So remember that. Remember how big and important this stuff is. But the DNA synthesis and cellular division are big processes in each and every individual cell. When a mom is pregnant, their pregnancy multivitamin has a crap ton of folate in it because they want to make sure we have really good DNA synthesis, the red blood cell formation, all those things on the new baby. Okay. So what if that's good for them, then it's good for our stems. We literally have stem cells that grow each and every day. Why on earth would we not think that that's a good idea? So be smart. Take B9 more than just when you're pregnant or in a bad mood. That always makes me laugh. But we'll talk about why. Why I'm going over these is because of our society. Okay. So our society breaks down vitamins. I'm literally telling you where this stuff is. Don't take it if you have a bad mood. Just take it. Take it because it makes sense to have good neurotransmitters, good DNA synthesis. It's all these things. Once you see it, you're like, wow, I could actually allow my innate intelligence of my body to have this perfect communication through my nervous system. And if I just give it all the information it needs, that's fantastic. Maybe I'll start taking that. Oh, let's just wait until we're sick. Let's wait till then. Nah, I don't think we should do that. I think we should probably take it because now man, I need to do something for my nerve health. I need to do something for my hair. I need to do something for my mood. I need to do something for my cellular improvement, right? All of those things. So, all right. So, where are the foods rich in? Green leafy vegetables like spinach and kale. Another one with B vitamins in it. Broccoli, asparagus, lentils, beans, oranges, and fortified grains. Okay. Real grains, not fake ones. Okay. Natural folate from food is better than synthetic folic acid for many people. That is a very true statement. So a lot of times the more you get in folate through your diet, the better. It just doesn't produce as good of results, necessarily in all the studies. That's what they're saying, is that folate from food is much, much better. And it's probably because of all the phytochemicals within the food too. So you can see, like, green leafy vegetables have so much stuff in them. It's funny how the world doesn't want us, that's the one we don't want to eat the most, which is hilarious because it's so packed with stuff. But okay, so B12. All right, so B12 is near and dear to my heart because we talk about it a lot. It's called cobalamin. B12 is a nerve protection, red blood cell formation. It helps with energy, DNA production, brain function, and deficiency of B12. And I've seen this in real time. That's what I want to talk to you about. Deficiency in real time, or deficiency of this, can mimic MS like symptoms or severe fatigue. So 2 things that I've seen in practice literally is the MS, this situation. Okay. So where somebody was almost, the amount of symptoms they were having was getting to that point of MS type symptomatology. The neurologist walked her through, and like as they go, all of her tests were starting there. MS is it's a very tough neurological disease where you start having major problems all over your body with walking, like a lot of different neurological issues. One of the things that can happen is what they call, so this stuff called myelin. Okay. So myelin sheath. The myelin sheath is basically this electrical wire that's running to your light bulb. Okay. And so you have several different thicknesses of this rubber wire around your electrical box. Sometimes you have really thin rubber that goes around those electrical wires, and sometimes you have really thick. Okay. And so sometimes what happens in MS is that the immune system or something inherently goes wrong in your body, and the myelin starts to become eaten away. If the myelin gets eaten away, just like an electrical wire, you're going to start having shorts. Okay. Like short circuiting. So think about electric wire going through water, and then, there's a hole in the rubber, right? That's basically what happens. And then the myelin sheath causes misfirings and all those kind of things. Holistically, it was very interesting to look at myelin, or this MS type thing. 2 that were very, MS is a tough one because there's a ton of neurological stuff. And so we believe holistically could be, this is not scientifically valid, but, like I never said this necessarily, but it could be just literally chronically low vitamin B12 level. Okay. Not being able to have the neuroprotectant. And we're going to explain a couple of things of how your vitamin B is so low and why that is occurring. But the biggest thing is understanding. I've had a patient literally that was 10 years ago. 10 years ago is a pretty cool story. I'll call her Mary. So she comes in, and they had just literally diagnosed her with MS. And MS is like it's kind of like one of those diseases that's kind of chronic, and it'll start taking its toll as time goes on. And she was pretty distraught about it. And so one of the things that she wanted to do was she was functioning very well. So she wanted to say, hey, listen, let's do what we can to keep my body as good as I can through this MS stuff. Okay. So we decided to go through our whole thing. We do our chiropractic stuff. She wanted me to do so we do this other thing where we do nutritional, all the support, those kind of things at the office. And we did some testing, and her vitamin B12 kept showing up, and it just kept showing up in the test we were doing. And it was fascinating. Now, this is muscle testing. This is not, blood testing every time or, those kind of things. So we're like, okay, well, that'll be interesting. So we put her, this is 10 years ago now. We put her on a big B complex with an extra dose of B12, right? The coolest thing was as she was going through it with the MS diagnosis with that specialty doctor, the doctor was like, I'm amazed. They ended up retesting her. Now, this is not saying that we cured her from everything from the B12, but what happened was they retested her and goes, maybe our system was glitching or her tests were much, much better than, somebody that would have MS. So that was a really cool story of what B12 can do to you. I have seen it work, not prevention of shingles, but shingles situations. B12, you up the B12, and then a lot of times you will have that shingles kind of go away a lot faster than the suffering you see on TV. It's a big deal. And so like a lot of times B12 can be one, that you really want to know what it's doing. So we're going to talk about that. It's a nerve protection. Okay. So out of all the B vitamins that we have, we want to do some nerve protection. We're going to protect those nerves at all times. Red blood cell formation, energy, DNA. I already did this, but I want to do it again. Energy, DNA production, brain function. And then we also have severe fatigue, very similar situation as like chronic fatigue syndrome, right? With a low vitamin B12 level. So the foods that this is rich in is beef, salmon, sardines, eggs, dairy, and this is for vegans, but nutritional yeast. Okay. This one's big, so we're going to talk about it. Vegans and vegetarians and older adults are the highest risk because they often need supplementation. And I'll give you a reason I think that is. B12 is in your intestinal wall. Think of your intestines as a giant train station. Okay. So you have this big, long, lengthy train that you're building. Okay. And all the people of the train get off at certain locations. So, you're dropping this person off in Iowa, and then you're dropping this person off in Illinois, those kind of things. That your intestinal wall does that with all kinds of different energy molecules all over, and B vitamins are one of them. Your B12 is in a very specific part of your colon. It's oftentimes difficult to have it work properly. Okay. You see B12 deficiencies in vegans because there isn't a ton. If you saw my list, there's not a ton of opportunities for them to get the B12. So sometimes they'll have to like supplement in. My older adults, because of their medications and the massive, horrific gut microbiome they have, B12 is one of those things that goes away. And it's very, so think of the train analogy. Let's say in Chicago, you have 27 stops, okay, for whatever B vitamin. B12 only has like 2 stops. And if you miss the 2 stops, you don't get a second chance. And that's one reason why B12 is such a tough thing. So remember that as we go, making sure that at least out of all the B vitamins, we got some B12 in there. Okay. So now that we've gone through that portion, hopefully you guys enjoyed a little bit. The B vitamins are awesome. If you become a member, though, of my newsletter, Tribe1, TRIB1.substack.com, I will send you a transcript of those so you understand. And then the next time you're feeling it, but listen to what we talked about tonight. Mood, energy, a lot, right? Because it's all neurologic. So we have a lot of nerve. This is the nerve vitamin. Okay. So this is the nerve vitamin. There is a ton of other things, hair, skin, nails, all of those things, but energy and mood kept popping up. right? And a lot of the similar foods, salmon, eggs, dark green veggies, right? There's a lot of other foods in there, but those are the kickers. Now, what we're going to go over is how you take it essentially and why you do it that way. Okay. So hopefully this will make a lot of sense as we go. How do they work together as synergy? Okay. So this is kind of the nerdy side. I wanted to add something that you guys would enjoy. And I'll do it fast so that we can get to the fun stuff. But energy production, the biggest thing that you need to be the B team, the core team for. Most B vitamins, especially B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, and B7, act as coenzymes into turning food into usable energy, ATP, via the Krebs cycle and the mitochondria. If one is missing, the whole energy assembly line slows down, creating fatigue. So you need B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B7 just to make the energy. Okay. To create energy in our body, we have to create it inside. We don't get it from magic land. We have to make it from things. And your B vitamins is a very big thing. If you don't have them all, though, then you have problems. Okay. Nervous system support. My favorite, B1, B6, B12. B1, B6, B12. And others protect nerves, help make neurotransmitters, serotonin and dopamine. You guys have heard of those, and maintain the myelin sheath that we talked about. That's the rubber around your electrical wire. This is why a chiropractor sees huge benefits when they use B1, B6, and B12. Better nerve function means better adjustments and healing. Okay. Methylation. We're going to talk about that. Methylation and cell health. B9 folate and B12 team up to regulate homocysteine. High levels damage blood vessels and nerves and support DNA repair. B2 and B6 help activate them. Okay, so here's how it goes. If you're low in B2, you can't properly use B6 or folate, B9, right? If you're low in B12, it traps the B9 and causes a thing called the methyl trap. Okay, so the methylation is kind of like, think of the oxidation that we talked about. If you go back to my one video with Dr. Kim Russell, we talk a lot about antioxidants and oxidation and the methylation process. Okay, so it's a way to make sure that everything is working properly, but it's not for tonight. So that's what methylation is, but it causes this methyl trap to happen. So can't use it. It's a problem. All right. Stress or poor diet depletes them faster, creating this cascade. Okay. All right. So here's the bottom line of all that. Even though you can see, like if we take the B vitamins out of your human body, you have major problems. Okay. So why not put a bunch in? That's what I say. Oh, sorry guys. We were out in the yard. Ooh, we were working hard today. Bottom line, taking a good B complex with active and methylated forms, which we'll talk about, is usually smarter than isolated vitamins because they support each other. Your body uses them together daily for metabolism, red blood cells, brain function, and stress resilience. So this is where we're going to talk about how to take them. Most of the time, I want you really focused on getting a really, really good B complex multivitamin that has a lot of it in there. Almost a no-brainer as you speak. Sometimes you get a really good multivitamin that has a lot of there. We have one at the office that's like a liquid, and you can take quite a bit. Now, what I've learned is that I wasn't taking enough of it. I thought you could, set it and forget it. I need to take more, right? And there's a couple things. The little thing called the Prism that we had brought in with Dr. Kim Russell. That's one way I can tell I wasn't getting enough. So I'm going to increase it through their program and ours, which is fantastic. There's a lot of good multivitamins out there, guys. You just have to not get the crappy ones, right? So, and where does the majority of we go to like Meyer grocery store. Those are okay, on a store shelf, though, a long time. That's how it goes with a lot of those different ones. So just be cautious as you're picking some of these because of how important it is to be in your body. Okay. All right. So these are the ways that are testing. So I'm going to go really quick through this so we can get to the fun stuff. Okay. So there's several ways actually in your medical doctor or chiropractor, because we'll do it too, can find your vitamin level. So there's one called an MMA test. It's methylmalonic acid MMA test. It'll tell your functional B12 status. It's really good because it's really specific for B12 deficiency. So these are some things you can really check and see, how are my B vitamins doing? When do you use this test? Let's say you want to figure out if your fatigue or your neuropathy or you have some brain fog going. Do we want to do this? This is one that I kept seeing with what do they call it? Long COVID. So long COVID was interesting because there was a lot of brain fog happening and people were just distraught. And so a lot of times, why B12? I'm not sure yet. I will figure it out. But that one was showing up a little bit in the situation. We don't take a ton of blood work, but we try to discern it through medical. But my hope is we're going to start taking more and more. So homocysteine is another test you can do. This checks your B12, your folate, and your B6 status. It's an excellent team marker, making sure that you have all three of those. And it rises when any of these are low. Okay, so the homocysteine test is one that you can look for. Cardiovascular risk and methylation issues. So like oxidation, think that way. Serum B12 is another one, tells about circulating B12. And then the last one is the red blood cells folate. This one a lot of people do in pregnancy and anemic type situations. The red blood cell folate test sees how much you have in all those. I thought that was an interesting slide because it's one of those. I know you guys won't care about what test necessarily, but if I have fatigue or neuropathy or brain fog or something, why wouldn't I get my B vitamins test? My 1% tribers will. My prize inside people. I shouldn't have named it. Now I'm learning this. I shouldn't have named it I did it on purpose. So 1% tribe was supposed to be Sunday night and Whole Health Weekly but it's still the prize inside show. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to keep the name, dang it. I like it. Okay. So, but now that you see all these different ones, these are one little screening aspects that you can do to say, oh man, my brain is foggy. Oh, let's check your B12. Oh, it was B12 the whole time, if that makes sense. Okay. So let's talk about supplementation and what you should look at key. This is pretty easy tonight. There's not like certain dosages, certain milligrams, because it'll tell you on the bottle. The big thing is B complex. I would say make sure all 8 are in there because they work so together as a team. Okay. And sometimes you get imbalances from taking one by itself. And I'll tell you when we're going to do that, but there is a time. So in my opinion, my estimation, unless you're a perfect eater of all green vegetables and salmon and eggs, possibly, then I would take them all, a really good B complex. And that could be the number one thing you take other than the solid multivitamin. And people say all the time, do we really have to take? There was a theory that you don't have to take any multivitamins. Sure. Sure. If you like medicine, it's absolutely sure. If you don't like protecting your nerve health and making sure that it's there, I'd rather have enough oil in the tank in my car than not enough. So that's one of the things. One of the only gifts to your body that you could possibly give the innate intelligence. The innate intelligence does all the stuff. So why not just give it all the good stuff? Yeah, you might pee out a little vitamin. Isn't that better than not having it and your nerves suffer? Yeah. So remember that as we go. So choose methylated forms when possible. Okay. So there are really good methylated by B12, and we'll talk about methylation allows it to get in the cells a lot easier. They found that over and over again. So, like a lot of times, the methylation could be really, really good types of B vitamins. It's not necessary if you have a really good one. It's just normal. But I would suggest, I think methylene or methyl B12, methyl folate. There's a lot of good ones out there. It's much better absorbed. And here's the kicker. You got to pay for the expense. So the methyl type are more expensive, right? Much easier absorbed. Why? Because everybody's gut microbiome is so messed up because they haven't come see me at the office and done the gut detox yet because everybody's afraid, apparently. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of times when you have to get your gut microbiome in check if you're low in B vitamins. One of the key aspects for me is that you have your gut microbiome is not where it needs to be. Regardless of what you think symptomatology wise, if your B vitamins are low, it's one of the most essential thing your body's going to ever pull out of your food. Okay. And if the innate intelligence isn't getting enough of it, it's either two things. You're not eating enough, or your gut bacteria, your gut microbiome is so messed up it cannot digest or break down that food. Okay. So those are key aspects to it. So one of the things that happens is that we're 90% deficient, like the title says, based on our gut microbiome being messed up and that we don't take enough, if that makes sense. All right. So people have to resort to the methyl situation, which are a better vitamin, honestly. They're much better absorbed. They're much more expensive because your gut bacteria is all messed up and you can't digest anything. All right. There you go. All right. So there is that. Okay. So I want to do a little bit the why this happened. Like, so how does the body, we shown you on a couple of these energy processes how the body is depleted and uses these vitamins on a daily. Okay. Think about that. So you had B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, all of them, B7, all of them using the literal chemical processes that go into what they call the Krebs cycle, and the mitochondria use them. So they're using it on a regular basis. That is why it's super critical. This is one of those nights that I'm going to say you're going to take a B complex every day. Every day. I have people go, oh, could it be that? No. I almost try to say it all the time. Like, it seems like it can't be. B complex should be a go-to every single day, right? And so that should be something in your world because your body and the world is depleting it. And the more active, the more high stress you are. Remember, it's a high stress. It does energy. It helps regulate your dopamine and serotonin, right? And so if those are constantly active, you're going to burn through more B complex. Okay. So just remember that as we go forward. It's one of those, it's critical for all those things. So just remember, the biggest thing is when you have all your B vitamin stores go down, these are the symptoms to look for. And this is going to be the stuff that I want you to think B vitamin as well as any other thing that could be out there. Fatigue, brain fog, poor nerve function, which is a lot of stuff, slower healing, and it's all the stuff we see every day in practice, and making this little change in those situations is a massive difference. Yes. I can't believe I made it through all those vitamins. I was hustling, guys. I don't know. I'm trying to make it through an hour. as we go. Now we can talk about the fun stuff. These are really easy. B complex recipes. This is going to be so fun. I was like, this is where I love the AI stuff. I'm like, AI, give me some recipes focusing on the B vitamins. And the internet is glorious. It'll search all over the place. And it found me like 3 or 4. So who would have thought people are like, B complex smoothie? But there is one. All right. I thought this one was cool. B vitamin power breakfast bowl. Ready? The ingredients are 2 eggs. So there's your B12, B7, B2. Spinach or kale, B9 and B6. An avocado, you get some B5 and B6. Salmon or smoked salmon, B12, B3, B6. Quinoa, B1, B2, B3. And a handful of sunflower seeds, B1, B5, B7. That's ridiculous. I'll read it again because I added the B's in there. So the ingredients are 2 eggs, spinach or kale, avocado, some smoked salmon or regular salmon. Oh, smoked salmon sounds delightful with 2 eggs. Quinoa. I can't remember how you say that. It's a nice little grain and a handful of sunflower seeds. You mix that bad boy up. That's cooking. But that's the B. That gets every single B vitamin right there. Why it works? Because it hits every B vitamin. So the easy way to make it, you saute the spinach, scramble the eggs, serve over the cooked quinoa. It must be like a rice. I can't remember. Rachel's going to kill me because I don't know. I know it's like a grain, but okay. With avocado and seeds on the top. So it sounds delish. That would be one of those. All right. Oops. Sorry. Wrong button. All right. This is another one. Just tell your kids the next time you're like, hey, this is the B complex chicken stir fry. I'm sure that'll go over with the kids. They'll be like, oh, I got to have me some B complex chicken stir fry. But here's the ingredients: chicken breast, broccoli and asparagus, brown rice, because brown rice has B1 and B3 in it, some peanuts or cashews, garlic and ginger. It sounds delicious, actually. And the only thing, all of it sounds amazing. And so that would be a good stir fry. And then it's really high in B3 and B6 if you do it this way, and folate for the energy. You stir fry the chicken and veggies and serve over the brown rice, and then you got it all. So that's the B complex chicken stir fry. And the next time you have guests over, you'll be like the most genius. I'm sure they will want to know that it's the B complex stir fry. All right. This is a leafy green lentil salad. This is plant-based. It has a ton of folate power. So if somebody's like vegetarian, all those kind of things. So cooked lentils, B9, B1, B3, B6. I won't do that to you. Never mind. Cooked lentils, mixed greens with spinach, tomatoes. Tomatoes don't have much. Feta or nutritional yeast. That's B12 fortified. Pumpkin seeds, olive oil, and lemon. So that is a pretty good one as well. It's a good vegan source of folate because it's really hard to get folate with my vegan situation. And B12, actually. Okay. So here is the B12 boosting breakfast muffin. This sounds pretty good. So this muffin is eggs, spinach, cheese, whole grain flour or oats, turkey, bacon, or ham is where you're going to get the B12 and B3, and a little nutritional yeast. And it's portable, and it's loaded with B12, B2, and B3. So a lot of this one would be a great one for, let's say, grandma or somebody that's doesn't eat enough. Making these boosting breakfast muffins could be fantastic. I really like this idea, actually. Some of my older patients, they do not eat very well in the sense of they just don't feel like eating, and so what they put in their mouth matters, right? What they put in their mouth is more important if you're not going to eat a ton. And so this could be a good one. So that is great. And then I knew I had one more. So Ultimate, the B vitamin smoothie. Okay. So this is Greek yogurt or kefir. Will get you your B2, B12. You add a banana, some spinach in there, a little almond butter to give you the B2, B3, fortified plant milk or nutritional yeast, and then some chia seeds. Not a huge, I'm not sure where I'm standing on the plant milk, but I don't know if it's as good as they're quoting it is. So I'm going to say you can do the dairy, go that direction. I'm not sure just yet. There might be some good milks out there that are plant, but I'm having a hard time with that. I'll do some more as I'm diving deeper each time. When you don't know exactly how things are made, I try to stay away from that kind of stuff. So, but that is a good boost of vitamin B's in the morning if you don't want to take a really good B complex, but find one of those. Okay. But all right, let me put all the B complexes in this little place. So I have this little QR code up in the corner. Let me move this out of the way so you can see that. So if you are tech worthy or tech savvy, you can do this little QR code in the corner. Let me see. Boom. Or that one. This one will get you to it's called FullScript. And this is what this is saying. FullScript is a place that we can actually communicate. I have like a little, what they call like a nutritional pharmacy in there. The office does actually. So like the chiropractic clinic, each patient can actually get with their doctor. And then what happens is I can send things back and forth. I really, really like that. It's really fun. There's a lot more to it than I ever realized. In the FullScript, I'm actually doing a presentation on it soon, just to give I want to know more of the pieces that we can use on there. But FullScript right now, let's say John Smith signs up for FullScript on that little QR code, then I can send you like through mine, because I'll see that you signed up and I just send it to you, and it's the same prices as Amazon, but I know you're taking it. So that's the beautiful part. So and you get like a 10% discount or something. You get a 10% for just being under me. So that's really awesome. So with that, I think, my friends, I hope you enjoyed our traveling down the B complex and why it's so important. Why, as many herbs as we'll talk about, as many different things we'll talk about, how the basics, right? Good multivitamin, good B complex, those things, just stick in that world and you can do yourself a lot of good favors and set yourself up for successful path. Neurological conditions are very hard because they're very chronic over time. If you don't have a chronic condition currently, why not start taking onus of that and move the needle for yourself, making sure that your body has all the B vitamins. There's lots of tools that you can come in and talk to us about as well, or reach out at some time. One of those sites, tribe1.substack.com, Facebook, whatever you want. So I'm around. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed tonight. This was really fun. Hopefully you got some good info out of it. Next week we'll go on. So don't forget about Wednesday night. It's the Whole Health Weekly. I don't have any interviews lined up just yet, but I'm working on it. So with that said, guys, you guys have a great night and enjoy your week, especially if you have some B vitamins. Maybe make yourself a B vitamin muffin. Have a good one.